WhiskyJason here, whiskey from the viewpoint of an American over here in Germany, often having rare and exotic whiskeys. Mortlach, 2014 to 2024, 10-year-old label. Bolgheri Red Wine Casks, 48.2%. This is Signatory Vintage Small Batch Edition number 6. Look at that red wine influence color here. Very, very nice. Whiskybase 248443, and we're talking about 59 euros 90 was the original recommended retail price. Now this is the 6th in the series of Signatory Vintage Small Batch Editions that have come out since 2023. Just going to pour a little bit of my glass here and bring out a 2nd edition as a comparison whiskey. I never did a video to this. This is then Small Batch Edition number 3, Inchgauer, vintage 2011 to 2023, age 12 years. Now, for those of you that are not aware, at the moment, the beginning of 2024, at least Signatory Vintage is absolute at the moment, hyped, because of the 100 proof editions. At least in Germany they are. All right, they brought out 3 things at the beginning, then they brought out another 4 or so. They're going to bring out others. 100 proof means 58 point something %. And what they have is a very, very low price. Now this is 49 euros, this is 59 euros. They do have a tube, which is going to cost me as a consumer maybe about 4 euros. Costs 90 cents probably to produce, 80 cents, but by the time the importer puts their 30% on it, the retailer puts their 30% on it, the government puts their 19% VAT on it, that 90 cents turns into about 4 euros here. All right, so that's whiskey, people. All right, so if I'm paying 100 euros for a bottle of whiskey, which I'm not here, I'm 50 euros, so 30% goes to the retailer, 19% goes to the government, and 30% goes to the importer. What's left of that 20-some% is what the distiller might get. All right, so that's the price of doing business with whiskey. Now, if you look here, you can see a fabulously differentiating color profile. This, the red, and this, the brown. All right, so in the Signatory Vintage Small Batch Edition range so far, we had originally number 1 was a Mortlach, 2012, 2023, Oloroso Sherry. Then there was a Glenrothes, 2012, also to 23. Inchgauer, which I have here, 2011. The Koile was sold out almost immediately, but hey, finally something that's peaty that my friends love more than I do. Then there was the Kregarechi, video will come, the bottle's just arriving, that's number 5. And somehow we have here the Mortlach Bolgheri Red Wine. Bolgheri is a region in Tuscany in Italy that is specially reserved for different types of wine. Now this wine region was originally created in the year, my book says here, my thing says here, the rules, 1994. So this was the, a set of rules approved in 1983 and signed on August 1st by the President of the Italian Republic, Sandro Pertini, and that is actually the production of the Bolgheri DOC wines. So, and then 1994, there was a revision that made it actually officially recognized and permitted the production of red wines from Bolgheri, because up until then, there were just rosé and white wines from that region. So if we did not have that rule change in 1994, we wouldn't have this bottle in front of us. And they basically use 3 types of grapes. They use the Cabernet Sauvignon, they use the Merlot, and they use the Cabernet Franc. And sometimes they can use also the serie. So there's a little bit of other things they can use as well. Very dark, rich, nice wines without being too acidic. And so we have no idea how many bottles we have here in total. Neither do we here. They don't put the bottle amount of the batches here on the labels. $49.59. Now I started thinking just a little bit about where did that price come from? What are we paying more for? This is 10, this is 12 years old. Both are these 48.2%. Is it the 2 additional ages of year makes it cheaper? No, of course not. Is it the casks? Now, I don't know about you, but I actually in Germany can buy casks. All right, so I have in Bad Dürkheim, that's a place down by Frankfurt, between Frankfurt and Stuttgart, basically, and they sell casks. They manufacture casks, they repair casks, they buy casks, and they broker casks, and so on. So I can go there and I can take a look and see, oh, look, I can buy a French red wine cask, a hogshead, 225 liters, for 330 euros. I can also go there and buy a sherry cask with Pedro Jimenez or Oloroso with 225 liters. Instead of paying the 330 euros, I'm going to be paying about 750 to 800 euros. So Oloroso sherry is more expensive than a French wine. And I'm sure the Italian wine is similar. All right, so I can actually go up to a butt. A butt will be 500 liters. So for Palo Cortado, I'm going to pay 1,500 euros at the moment. For Pedro Jimenez, I'm going to pay 1,500 euros for a 500-liter butt. And for Oloroso, which is crazy, it's 1,800. So it used to be Palo Cortado was more expensive and Pedro Jimenez was more expensive. But at the moment, Oloroso is more expensive. And I can actually go there and buy a 600-liter red wine cask from France again, Merlot Cabernet, and it's 750. So the casks of red wine are about half of the casks of the sherry. So it's definitely not the casks that make the difference. Red wine. Remember Marc René when he used to work at Bruichladdich? He would actually, instead of using sherry, what we normally used, he would go out and use red wine. Why? Because they were cheaper. He had connections to the vineyards in France and so on around the world, and he could actually buy cheaper casks from the wine industry than he could from the sherry industry. And that's why he did it. Wine casks are actually cheaper. Okay? So, we're paying for the name. That's all we're paying for here. Inchgauer, who knows Inchgauer? It's not Inchgauer, it's Inchgauer. And Mortlach, that is a name we know. And so Mortlach is the name we're paying for, I guess. All right, so on the nose, raspberry with vanilla sauce. A little bit of spice, even goes in the cinnamon, wood, and tiny little bit of leather. That's interesting, but the red wine influence is strong. In the color, in the nose, and it will be also in the palate. Now, if you're looking for a typical Mortlach that you like and you love, and you've had other ones, you had the Wee Beastie or whatever it's called from them, and so on. This is not the product you're going to go for. This is not the typical Mortlach. This is a little bit wine forward. Now, the Inchgauer has a very, very nice Oloroso leather herbal moment going on in here. Caramel leather. This is nice. I actually like this a lot. These were very good sherry casks. Now, Signature Vintage has a variety of different sherry casks they have used with, I call them all the way up to syrupy, all the way down to old school. And this is actually, if I were to use the syrupy that I dislike and the old school, which I really like, it's almost in the area. This is the middle. It's a little bit more towards the old school character. That's nice. That is actually very, very nice. And for 49 euros, I can't beat it. So I want to very briefly go back up here to something called the 100 proof. Yeah, the 100 proof series from Signature Vintage. They came out with a Tullibardine, a 8-year-old. They came out with a Blair Ethel, 9-year-old, and they came out with the Atmore, the 13-year-old. Everything in the 100 proof range has to have 57.1%. That's the Imperial 100 proof that they're used to. 105 from Glenfarclas would be 60 proof, and they went for the 100. And they were all priced over here, Germany, 44 euros 90. All right, so we have 49 euros, we have 59 euros. These are more expensive. Now, I don't think, in my personal opinion, that more alcohol means more flavor. I don't want 40% all the time. 43, 46, you're getting there, 48.2, nice. 57.1 can be a little bit too much for me. All right, so I prefer this range. I do like the tubes, I do like the design, I do like the bottles. I like a lot about this. And I've tried them all except for the Craigellachie, which will arrive in a couple of minutes or has just arrived at my doorstep. So we'll see how they are. Now this has that winey type of moment, as in red wine cask influence. Cheers. Raspberries, strawberries. Now, heat dissipates, a tiny little bit of wood spice, and then I get something which I was not expecting, cinnamon. There's had I not known, I would have said I get cinnamon with Tulabadine often. And here I have cinnamon. Cinnamon, as if you put cinnamon on your raspberry pudding with vanilla sauce and a little bit of cinnamon on top of that. That is actually nice. Now, is it Mortlach? No, not the typical Mortlach that I've tasted and enjoyed and sometimes disliked. But this is very, very interesting. Medium long finish. This is a C to a C plus in my opinion, if you like red wine casks. Now, should be a full maturation. We don't know. I would love for Signatory Vintage, they try to be as transparent as possible. If it is a finish, put the word finish on it. It might not be. If it's a full maturation, put the word full maturation on there. That's what we, at least me, as a geek would like. So that we actually have here full maturation. So, so what we know, hey, it wasn't first of all for 2 years in a bourbon, and then switched, recasked, re-racked into a Bolgheri Tuscany Italian red wine cask. Value for money, C to C plus. Taste C to C plus. Okay, that's not. It's value for money to C. It's 60 euros, but taste C to C plus. There's a little bit of astringency there as well. I haven't done a video about this, nor will I do video about this. So this is my official video about the Inchgauer here. Our number 3, I'm sorry. Like the leather caramel spiciness going on here, a little bit of herbs. The heat is not there. The alcohol is wonderfully integrated. Ooh, got a nice, good finish as well. That's actually very, very nice. Whiskybase 243478, 49 euros. That is good. That is very, very good, to be honest. A little bit of nutmeg, a little bit of fruitiness, vanilla, a little bit of chocolate, but that old school sherry moment is going on in there. That is absolutely very, very nice. Has a tad of mocha, a chocolate cappuccino mocha moment. I detest coffee, but this is absolutely within the realm of where I like the balance here. There's no bitterness. It's absolutely what I would like. Nice stuff. For me today, actually a C plus to B minus. Value for money, 49 euros, C to C plus. Go for a C plus here. I like this. This is maybe one of the best bottles of Signatory Vintage releases I've had in a while. Ignore everything that Edle Dauer, but from their Signatory Vintage releases, this is one of my favorites. I like a lot. going back to the red wine, it's very interesting after having this. This has a lot more of astringency to it. That red wine cask influence really comes through. Sucks out all of the saliva out of your mouth. I don't get it by itself, but going back, this is so much, this actually allows the saliva to start flowing, and just the smell and the taste of it just makes my mouth water. This makes it dry. So if I were to pick the two of these, it would be the Inchgoa. A typical old school sherry moment. Very nice. If you like red wine cask finished products and you like a little bit of cinnamon in there, this is going to be it for you. All right, thank you very much, and thank you very much, Signatory Vintage, for having such a great selection of products, at least in Germany, that are available always. That's great. Not without warrant has Signatory Vintage at the Online Scotch Whisky Awards, the Oswas, from Ralphie and Roy, been named 3 years in a row the best independent bottler. And we know why. They're doing it right. They're being as transparent as they can be. They're learning, but they're being transparent as they can be. They're offering us great whiskey at fabulous prices. Distribution with America could be better, I know. Australia could be better. But for mainland Europe and part of Asia, they're doing a fantastic job. UK, wonderful. And it's not to deal with Signatory Vintage. It has to do with the partners of Signatory Vintage, unfortunately. All right, so Signatory Vintage is a absolute winner, in my personal opinion, as one of the best, if not the best, at the moment, independent bottlers of whiskey in the world, of Scotch whiskey. Thank you very much for watching, liking, subscribing. What is your favorite Signatory Vintage product? What is your favorite Mortlach product? What is your favorite red wine finish product? From one of those 3 questions, I'm sure you can put something in the comments. See you real soon. Whiskey Jason. Bye-bye.